all we have for announcements. Okay, so today we are talking about I am that I am. I am what I am. And this is also about how I am what I am is by the grace of God. So we'd like to read a passage from this book. It's called The Life You Were Born to Live. A Guide to Finding Your Life Purpose by Dan Millman, and he's the author of The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And I think this is an older book, and it's a pretty fun book. It's really about numerology, but we're not going to get into the numerology part of it. And also, right now, we're coming into a full moon, and this is happening tonight, early morning. So it's a really good time to just accept ourselves and who we are and our life purpose. So, and then we have the summer solstice coming up. So, wow, what an exciting time. It's very exciting. Okay, so this is just like a little forward into the book. And this little chapter is called Mountains to Climb, the Paths of Destiny. We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the paths of life. And that's Carl Jung. So, viewing our life's journey as a mountain path leads it to an important discovery. Our life purpose, what we're here to do, is not what comes easiest. This statement, which I will repeat as an emphatic reminder throughout this book, suggests that although life itself doesn't have to involve unnecessary struggle, this world does involve challenges and tests. In particular, on the mountain path of personal evolution, as we work to fulfill our life purpose, we engage in creative struggle with negative or undeveloped tendencies related to our life purpose. Climbing up a mountain path and rising to greater heights requires courage, commitment, and directed effort. If we have prepared well for our climb, it will be less difficult than if we are unprepared, but either way, it's still a climb. We don't begin our climb at the summit. We begin down at the base. And as we ascend through childhood, adolescence, adulthood, we encounter a period of preparation, initiation, and training, including challenges through which we come to recognize and improve our weaknesses and appreciate our strengths. Those of us who become disheartened or discouraged when life feels like an uphill climb have forgotten that it's supposed to be a challenge. The effort requires fire, or the effort creates fires that temper us and strengthen our spirit. The paths of life hold adventure and danger, pleasure and difficulty. Our own path may seem clear and direct for a time, then turns sharply in a surprising direction. At certain points on our journey, the road forks, and we make choices that influence the rest of our life. We may choose to push onward and upward, to coast downward, or to remain where we are. Each path has its own challenges. Each challenge contains a lesson, and each lesson leads towards the summit of the mountain we are born to climb. Although our path may feel very difficult at times, the higher we climb, the better the view. Our life purpose represents the summit. What we do with our potential, however, is largely up to us. The extent to which we fulfill our potential depends on how we respond to the challenges we meet on our path. We may, at times, slow down or stop to gather our strength or our wits before pushing on. Some of us may abandon the climb for lack of confidence. This choice is our own business and our own right, but the saying, do it right or do it over, may also apply to lifetimes. We cannot fall off the path. Wherever we step, it appears beneath our feet. It may twist or curve, but it will eventually lead us upward, because that is the clear call and direction of our evolutionary journey. This metaphor of mountain path allows us to reconcile an ancient paradox about whether we truly have free will or whether our life is somehow predestined. At the moment of birth, we are each given a specific inner mountain to climb, reflecting the forces of predestination. How we climb and the time we take are up to us, reflecting the power of free will. In other words, we're given the playing field, but we choose how to play the game. We always have the power of choice, discipline, responsibility, and commitment. No life path is harder or easier, better or worse than any other, except to the degree that we make it so. Finally, when we reach the summit of our mountain, we make a wonderful and startling discovery that it's not the end of the journey. We are not just here to achieve our life purpose. We are here to transcend it. In other words, when we reach the top of our mountain, we keep on rising. So today what we're talking about is really accepting who we are. And it doesn't mean that if you recognize one part of your shadow, a shadow part of you, that you have to chain yourself to the expression of the shadow self, because it's like, well, this is a part of me and this is who I am, and I just might as well accept it. So what we're saying with this is that everybody on this planet has challenges. We all have challenges, and we have choices. And we are in this stage where we can align our will, our mind, our spirit, with the Spirit of God. So we can stay focused on that path. And this is also a path of non-judgment. So when we do have these, shadow side, light side, it's not to judge it, but it's to stay in alignment with that greater purpose, with that greater climb up the mountain. What is going on? And it's not to ignore. It's not to ignore these tendencies or things that we were born with, struggles from within, from without. It's to fully integrate our self, keeping our eye on the path, on the prize, on the journey, on the goal, and giving us this ability to get back up by the grace of God. There are so many stories about people who have come to this earth, and we whine and complain about, I don't want to do this, or God, why do I have to do this? I mean, so many of these spiritual teachers didn't necessarily come with the attitude of like, this is going to be fun and easy. So, I mean, it's okay. And at the same time, there has to be that balance. So, that the smile, the fun, the joy, the celebrating of the experience that we're having. Let it be what it is. And let yourself be who you are and accept who you are. Accept that we have shadow sides to ourselves. Accept that we may have struggles in certain areas of our lives. We even have struggles that sort of like quote unquote plague us for the whole life, it sometimes feels like. So instead of trying to fight it, push it away, push it down, ignore it, or pretend like it's not there, or always be constantly trying to heal it, working so hard, just accept it for what it is. And like we've been taught, talk to it like a little child, and just say, I see you, you're here. Maybe if it left for a while, you're back, and to really just be our true, authentic selves. We were created in God's image. We were given this breath, this life through through grace. We have so many gifts. So many gifts. We have abilities. And as this, reading and other readings talk about, it might feel like you're skipping and whistling up the mountain sometimes, and then, you might need to take a break and then get back up and keep going. Backsliding might happen, and it's not to judge. And it really is in our, we are co-creators in the divine. If we don't want to do spiritual growth, well, good luck. Sorry, but I mean, you can try to, you know, hold back, but um, life will come to us and give us what universe, God's grace. And like we're saying, a lot of spiritual teachers were given life goals that they said, I don't deserve this. How could you, to God, like, how could I be doing this? I failed so hard, I failed before. I'm not a good person. I'm a sinner. I'm this, and it's there is no judgment in God. And God sees all of us, all parts of ourselves. And we can see all parts of ourselves too with love. Really, with loving all the parts of ourselves, whatever we think flawed, dysfunctional, whatever, sick, or, tired, or whatever it is. So we just wanted to talk about one tool that can be used besides meditation, of course, to really accept our true authentic selves, to really accept ourselves and our destination, our goal, we might not feel good enough for what whatever it is. And it's called the 5 Whys, and it's WHY. So this is to get to the real deeper issue that is presenting itself to us. So we want to go deeper. We don't want to just stay like on a surface level. And there might be reoccurring issues that come up, reoccurring health issues, reoccurring emotional, reoccurring mental, spiritual, psychic. So it's a process of kind of digging deeper. And allow yourself to just be really open-minded with yourself. So if you see something you don't like, just see it. Don't be a hater. Don't judge. Just let yourself really look at it. Let yourself look at the shadows for, it's not to dwell, but it's to, allow it to heal, and integrating this as turning these weaknesses into strengths and gifts, because really they are gifts from God. So the 5 Whys asks us to say we're having an issue like finances. So you start, and it's unlayering, and it's accepting the layers too. So you say, why am I struggling with finances? And then you get an answer. Why? And then you keep going, and you do that about 5 times. Just unfolding, clearing out these root issues of what the source of this is. And as you do it, it's like self-acceptance the whole way. Really accepting ourselves for accepting the negative emotions, accepting the negative thought patterns, forgiving ourselves for actions or inactions. And so this 5 whys is a way to self-reflect on what parts of myself am I not accepting? What parts of my shadow am I not integrating? And why? You know, what can I do about it? I have choices. I have free will. I know I was created in God's image. I am God reflecting. I'm not an accident. So, you know, you're not an accident. We're not an accident. Everything about us is part of God. And it's not to, you know, dwell on the parts of our, you know, it's not to say, well, I'm a sinner, I give up, I can't do anything. I mean, some people do that. That does happen. I mean, for some people, it's like, and it can be temporary in this lifetime, or we can come back, do it again, with different trials to see for our to create our mettle, to test our mettle, to see where we are. So during this time, just really accept ourselves for who we are. Let yourself be free. Release the shackles that we've placed on ourselves. Allow yourself to see, you know, who you are. What are you doing? What are we doing here? You know, what next steps can I take? Can we take? You know, and I love Spirit of the Lotus because we say like baby steps, baby steps. And, you know, progress, not perfection. So just, you know, if you know you're here for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, maybe just see if you have a butter knife in the drawer, you know, that you can get ready to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Just start taking those little steps and trust God. Trust God that you're here by no accident. And all of you is here, all of your different parts. And don't resist, you know, accept self-acceptance. And this also helps us to accept others for who they are. So that's also a gift. So have a beautiful Father's Day and prepare for deep level meditation.